So when we issued the ultimatum to Japan to surrender, the only answer we got was to go to the devil. Yet all this time, some of their people seemed to be acting behind their backs of the cabinet, trying to sue for peace in one underhand way or another. Well, when they replied that way, we knew that there was only one of two things to do. We could advance on Japan and fight every inch of the way, losing 1 million of our own men, or drop the atomic bomb. We dropped the bomb. And still there was no reaction. We learned later that the Japanese cabinet met, and finally there were enough who agreed to surrender to split the cabinet in half, one half in favor of surrender, the other determined to fight on. In this spirit, the emperor was finally called on to give his opinion, an unprecedented move. He didn't want his people to die any more than he wanted to surrender. Yet the military was so strong, they still wouldn't notify us of their capitulation. So we had to drop the second bomb on Nagasaki. That did it. The cabinet met again and really decided. But that wasn't the end. They notified us that they would accept an unconditional surrender, but implied that the condition that this emperor might be retained in some way. The emperor made a recording of a pronouncement to the Japanese people for the radio. The first time the Japanese populace ever heard his voice. Yet, don't you think that one military group didn't speak into the offices, to break into the offices and try to record, and try to head off that record so it couldn't be broadcast. They did broadcast it, and they surrendered. I'll tell you, without those two A bombs dropped on them to show we meant business, they might never have surrendered, even though they knew they would be licked. But they would have killed 3 million more people on both sides. That's why there is no question that in view of the hold the Japanese military had on their people, the dropping of the atom bombs was the only sensible thing to do. It was the only thing to do.